Deep breath. I know. I'm winded from the workout, man.
That's same.
I know, dude. We both worked out today.
Yeah.
And dude,
Got the, 7 a.m. Saturday session.
and then
Sunday. What day is it? It's Saturday.
It's Saturday, dude. I forgot what day it was too. And I worked out at 10. I worked out for 2 hours, which was a mistake. Now, and probably won't do that again for a while. I'm trying to. I'll probably take tomorrow off. Anyway, welcome back to Back Mentality. And today we have Chase on the podcast. Chase just wrapped up our 6-week ramp up program. He saw some great results. How much weight did you lose? Or how much body fat percentage did you lose?
I think I lost 15 pounds or something like that.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And then body fat, without looking at the numbers, maybe like 5 or
I think you were on 6.
no,
6 plus.
8.
8%. Oh, yeah, that's right. 8%.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. In 6 weeks,
Yeah.
that is an insane progression right there. And the big thing that you did really well was that every time we met and I kind of gave you, or I gave you like a homework assignment, I'd be like, hey, Chase, we're doing this for protein, or I want you to go for a walk every morning or whatnot, that you actually execute on that. And then I think that's a huge reason, or I don't think, but that is a huge reason why you saw results, is because you just simply listened, you executed, you came to as many, every time I told you to come to the gym and work out, you came and you worked out.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy how you just be a little bit coachable and boom, you see results.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, my main reason for signing up was I had worked out at other places, and you work out till you're blue in the face, you do it over and over and over, and you're still not getting the results you want. So no matter how much I thought I knew, I didn't. I realized I didn't know, and I needed to take coaching. So I was very, susceptible to everything that you recommended. And if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it 100%. So that was important to me.
I love that. And you're a very fast learner, and you're very athletic. You come you pick up on stuff very quickly. I was very pleasantly, I wasn't surprised, but I was very pleasantly surprised, because it just made my job 10 times easier. That I was able to demonstrate something, maybe explain it, show you a few times, kind of walk you through it, and then boom, you would get it really quickly.
Yeah.
Which also helps contribute to things as well. And so yeah. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying I do have a little bit of a workout background. So, I had done like HIIT training and yoga sculpt, which is like the hot yoga with weights, So I wasn't starting from zero. There was a little bit there, but just excited to learn. It was just, I think that's been my favorite part of the process is, like I was telling you earlier, there's so many things in CrossFit that kind of scared me, so then to see it and then conquer it, or try it and conquer it, has just been the coolest thing, and continue learning. So
yeah, and conquer it quickly nonetheless, which would boost your confidence even more. So sure. Can you take me back to a moment where you first thought, I need to do something different for my fitness?
Yeah. So long story short, had a baby 15 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Which has been amazing. Started really putting on the baby weight maybe around like 5 or 6 months of the pregnancy. And I gained like 40 pounds.
40?
Yeah.
I didn't know you gained that much.
Yeah. From the, let's call it 6 weeks of pregnancy till about, he was like 7 or 8 months or so, I put on 40 pounds. And it wasn't even so much how I looked, it was how I felt. I felt slow. I felt heavy. My body, I could feel my belly over my legs. You know what I mean? And I was like, this needs to change. Just for my physical appearance, for my mental health, for everything. I have to fix this. So I started working out again. Because long story short, I basically stopped working out, like a solidarity move or something. I was like, this has to change. So I started working out at the gym here at my house, and then slowly worked into joining another gym close by to just kind of get some cardio back. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to really ramp this up and try to get back to where I was, let's call it in my prime.
Yeah. Okay. And where were you at in your prime?
In my prime, I was probably 185, but I would say I feel better now. I can confidently say right now, I feel like I'm in my prime because there's more muscle. And my goal was never to lose weight, be under a certain amount of weight. It was to build muscle. And that was a frustrating thing for me, and why I was open to trying new things, because like I said earlier, like workouts, you're blue in the face, but nothing is really changing, you know? So it felt like I was wasting time.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and you know that's a very common thing because a lot of generic fitness programs out there, not that they're not good, because they got your foot in the door, because it was great. It was a great entry level for you, and it was great because that you did see some results there. And then just like how we talked before the podcast when you and I were just chatting, is that propelled you into the next step.
Yep.
So it kind of got you going, got you comfortable. The environment is very similar to that of the other gym that you went to, and then now that you're here, it's like, okay, this is just the next step for me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, it was a good thing to, you know, get my feet wet again, but I knew I needed more. I know, you know, personally in other classes, this has been like this since I started working out, let's say 10 years ago. I would go to classes and I would do things rather easily, and I'd see people around me like struggling, and I'm like, well, shit, shouldn't I have bigger muscles than this? What's going on? Where's my six pack at, you know? So, and that would always happen, you know, like I'm doing the heaviest weights in class. Everybody around me is like gasping for air. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, this isn't that hard, you know? So I knew I wasn't getting the challenge that I needed, you know? And I think the first step is being honest with myself about that. And then, you know, joining Red Wolf day one, when, you know, there's like elderly ladies lifting heavier weights than me, it was very humbling. I was like, this is what I need. Yeah. Yes, how's the nice environment I need. And yeah, every class is very humbling. So yeah, it's been awesome, man. It's exactly what I needed.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for that, and really appreciate all the hard work you put in. Let's kind of learn a little bit more about you. Let's kind of rewind a little bit. So what's your background in fitness and sports growing up?
Background in fitness and sports. So taking it real far back, I started wrestling when I was like, I don't know, 7 or so.
Oh, wow.
And I did that for maybe 9 years in Illinois. I'm from Chicago. And I was good. I was like ranked number 5 in the state at a certain weight class for a good amount of time. But then I discovered skateboarding, and I really fell in love with skateboarding. And if I was doing wrestling, I couldn't focus on skateboarding. And, you know, the great thing about wrestling is it really built into my, it hardwired into my mindset, like hard work. You know, it was every class, we're starting with a 10-minute run. We're doing this workout. If anybody in the class stops, we started all over again. So it was very militant, even though we were young. So you know, it really built into my brain, like, you're not going to quit. If everybody around you, like, if they're telling me this is possible, it's possible. I'm not going to stop, you know? So then I discovered skateboarding. And, you know, at this time, I just started high school, or maybe I had just changed high schools. And the wrestling coach came up to me at my locker and told me I was going to be the Michael Jordan of the team. It was so important for me to, you know, train nonstop and blah, blah, blah. And then I was torn because I had just discovered skateboarding. And I was like, that was the worst thing you could have said to me. And I quit the next day. And I never wrestled again. Yeah. I was like, I'm good. Yeah, it was too much pressure. And skateboarding was too fun for me. I was too, you know, curious about it. And then once that started, that did not stop. It still hasn't stopped. Well, despite my shirt saying I used to skate, but
You still skate.
I still, yeah. So yeah, I fell in love with skateboarding. In a strange way, like skateboarding, it does have a lot of the same qualities. Like skateboarding has amazing self-building qualities. You are trained to fall and get back up and fail and get back up until you succeed. And that's the only way you learn how to do it. And that's why a lot of people start and stop, because they don't have the mentality to keep going. So skateboarding also helped to train my mind to, like, yeah, this seems impossible right now. In 1 month, you're going to be doing this like as easy as you can walk. You know what I mean? So understanding that, you know, putting in the hard work will get you to the goal. So yeah. And then I'd say around 2016, I had been, so around 2013 or so, like I started doing yoga, which is cool. Like hot yoga. And then around 2016 was when I really started to get interested in lifting weights. So I started going to the gym and actually like lifting real weights and trying to get better at that. And I did notice a change pretty quickly. I was like, maybe maybe one day I can look like a man, you know, like I was in skateboarding, like the smaller you look, the better, you know, everybody's, you know,
That's true.
it's
That's a good point.
yeah. And then, you know, like go to family get-togethers, you know, and my uncles and shit are like grown men. I'm like, when does that happen? You know, when do I start looking like that?
Well, isn't there an advantage to being like as small or as like lightweight as possible in skateboarding?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's a big reason why.
It's also like a visual thing, you know, like seeing like a giant dude on a skateboard doesn't just
It
look
is quite awkward.
that great.
Yeah, like if we saw Ronnie Coleman on a skateboard, first off, he would probably break it. And then also he'd just be like, this just looks weird.
It just looks weird. Yeah. So it's kind of like the skateboarders are just small, you know? So I was, you know, but I'm not a professional skateboarder. I'm a professional skateboard filmmaker. So I was like, you know what? Like it's time for me to become a man, put some muscles on this body. So I started doing that. And then next step was I was doing HIIT training, which was pretty cool. That was it's called Base Camp. It was in LA. I lived at the time. And that's when, you know, we started combining the cardio with the weights and whatever. And I loved it. It was awesome. And I did that for a lot of years. But I kind of plateaued. I lost the weight. I got to, you know, my previous prime and I plateaued, you know, as much as I worked out, as much as, you know, I was lifting the heaviest weights in class or whatever, everything stayed the same. So that's, you know, and I kept going. I kept doing it more and more, expecting something to change, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it didn't.
Huh. Okay. Now, you mentioned something earlier that I really want to come back to. You mentioned that your wrestling coach said that, you know, you're going to be the Michael Jordan of the team and he was just really buttering you up. And you said it was the worst thing that he could have said to you. I'm just curious, going back to that, is what really made you decide to quit? Was it just the pressure alone or was it something else?
It was the love for skating, the interest. Like my heart had just shifted. I started wrestling because my dad was a wrestler and I'm one of 5 kids. He really wanted one of his kids to be a wrestler. So I started it and then I hated it the first year and then I got really good and then I got better and better and better. And it just kind of became like, all right, this is something you're really good at. Keep doing it. I never loved it.
Got it. That makes sense.
I never loved it. And then there was pressure from my dad. This is going into a lot of detail, but growing up, there's this kid who started the same time as me, the same age. And we grew up wrestling in the same club. And this dude was a monster. He had a 6-pack when he was like 8 years old. It was insane. And so out of 10 years of being in the same club as him, I think I beat him in practice one time out of probably 1,000 times. He was a monster. He was state champion like 3 times in a row. Like he was insane.
Wow.
So going into that year, my first match was going to be against him. And I was like, this dude's going to embarrass me. I'm the Michael Jordan of the team. They're going to send me out there to put on a show for my new high school. And he's going to kick my ass. And meanwhile, I don't care. I don't care about wrestling anymore. All I care about is this new thing, skateboarding. So I was like, not worth it. I don't care. I'm done. Yeah.
That's a great story.
And that's it.
I'm so glad I asked because, that's a really mature thing. How old were you when you made that decision?
I think I said it was 16, but it was right when I started high school.
Okay.
So around there.
Right around there. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. As like a 15, 16-year-old with pressure from your dad to do that. And also the fact that, I mean, a lot of times when you are good at something at that age, you do kind of naturally stick with it just because you're good at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, this is what I do. So I think that's really cool that at that age you were very mature enough to be like, I don't love this. I love this. I'm going to make the decision now that I'm going to do this instead. And, you know, I think a lot of times, even as adults, we kind of go back and forth on what we want, what we don't want. We just overanalyze things and we don't make decisions. And in the meantime, nothing good is coming from that. So it's really cool that you made that switch and then look where you ended up.
Yeah, it was the hardest conversation I've ever had with my dad.
Oh, I bet.
Terrified. He picked me up, I think, from school that day. And I just remember my heart was pounding. And then we parked and I was like, Dad, I'm quitting wrestling. And he said, okay, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. And I was like, whoa.
That's really cool for dad too.
Yeah.
You know, being someone who really, he wanted that, but it's really cool that your dad was supportive like that and not projecting his expectations on you and being like, hey, if you don't love it, I support you.
Yeah.
I think that's really great.
Yeah. And then, you know, he continued to support all throughout, you know, the skateboarding. Yeah. One of the best decisions I've ever made for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, it was just, my heart was it just wasn't there. I didn't really care.
Yeah. I also think it's really cool that it's not like you quit doing anything active and just started playing video games all day. It's like you went into something else that was just as active and just as athletic. It was just a different route and something that you would actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
My summer days became skate to the skate park, skate for 3 hours, skate home, watch a skate video, skate back to the skate park, skate for 2 hours, skate back home, watch the skate video, skate back for the night session. Like that's all we did.
Yeah. I just listened to a lot of punk rock, I bet.
Exactly. Or played the Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games.
Exactly. Classic.
All we did. So it just took over our lives completely.
Yeah. And I know you've made it up in the world to where you've worked with Tony Hawk. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. Actually shooting with him again next week.
Oh, wow. So you're going to see him next week. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I could take it back. You know, when I was 19, I had made a couple skate videos. And I could kind of look around, you know, watching professional skate videos and be like, I'm better than these guys at this. You know, like I need to do this. Skateboarding is like a very niche thing. And skateboard filming is even more niche. You know,
right.
It's the handle with the fisheye. You follow on the skateboard. So, you know, I knew who the best of the best were at that, you know, watching the videos a million times. And basically what I would do is I would try to copy what I thought was the best. And then once I could do that, you know, put my own twist on it. And then through that, I developed my own style that became recognizable, where somebody could watch a skateboarding clip and be like, oh, Chase filmed that because of just how it looks visually. So when I was 19, living in Chicago, came out with a video with some of the best skaters in Chicago. And I was like, we're going to sell this, and then we're going to move to California. And we're going to try to see if we can meet people, whatever. So did that. Made a skateboarding video, sold it, had like $3,000 or whatever.
Nice.
Drove out to California with my buddy. And the plan was, we're just going to stay here till the money runs out, hopefully meet a couple pros along the way. And then we'll do this over again. We'll make another video, and then we're going to move out to California. Within 3 weeks, I got hired for what was so far beyond what my dream job could have been. I was hired, it's called the Barracks, and it was owned by Steve Bear and Eric Costin, legendary pro skaters, and it's a warehouse in LA that only pros could skate. So I went from never meeting a pro in my life to 3 weeks later, I'm only working exclusively with the top pros. Nobody else is allowed in this building.
That's awesome.
So it's filming content every day. And then, yeah, so within 2 months, I had every pro skater's number in my phone, and they're hitting me up. And that's what I always told myself. I don't want to just become good at this to where like, oh, I could, you know, maybe Tony Hawk will film with me. No, I want Tony Hawk hitting me up to film.
Right.
You know, that's always where the mindset was, you know, and then not just him, I want everybody else. And that's what it became. And I worked extremely hard at that, nearly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like quite literally. And it's all I wanted to do. There wasn't a gun in my head. Like, it's what I wanted to do, you know? So then with that, you know, Tony Hawk specifically, it was just one day like, hey, Tony's coming today. You're going to film this thing with him. Okay, sweet. Man, that's a deal. Let's do it. So we filmed a couple things, and then, yeah, throughout the years, let's say over a 10-year span, maybe every couple of years we'd film something. And then I developed a series called Do a Kickflip, which is basically like...
I've seen that.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's mine.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've seen that's popped up on my feed many times, and I'm like, this is awesome.
That's so funny. So basically, growing up as a skater, like if you're skating on the street, people yell, "You do a kickflip," you know.
I know exactly.
Yeah, do a kickflip, loser. You know, it's usually followed up by like an insult. But I was like, how funny would it be if we had like famous skaters driving around yelling, "Do a kickflip"? So the skater, you know, they like the immediate reaction is they want to be, yeah. But then they're like, holy shit, yeah, that was Tony Hawk. So we filmed that with Tony Hawk, and it went viral, like crazy viral. And then I think that's where our connection like grew better, you know, because he told me, he was like, dude, I used to, for 20 years, everywhere I go, people would say, do a 900. He's like, now all they say to me is do a kickflip. He's like, so that's a lot easier on me.
Oh, that is nice.
So yeah, it was really cool to like, you know, have a little personal connection there, you know. And then after that, we just wanted to do more Tony. So we did like a Tony Hawk week, where every day we had like 7 days of the week we had a Tony Hawk video. And then, so this is still, I'm still working at the barracks at this time. I worked there for 15 years. Since the third week I moved out here for 15 years, I was kind of leading the charge there. And I just wanted to do my own thing. For example, do a kickflip. That was my baby. I came up with it. Actually own the rights to it.
Nailed it.
But at the end of the day, even though it was my thing, it was somebody else's thing. It was the barracks thing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to build something that was truly mine. So that's when I made the decision. I was like, all right, in, X date, I'm leaving and I'm doing my own thing. And then part of that was when I started, I knew I was going to start a skateboarding media channel, and it was going to start from zero. So we had to make a big splash. So I was like, well, I need Tony Hawk. So I hit up Tony. I was like, hey, I'm going to do this new thing, and I don't want to spend 2 years, trying to get, slowly build up. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hit it hard. So he agreed. We did a documentary on him that released with a limited edition skateboard.
Oh, wow. Smart.
So yeah, it was a signed skateboard. There was 300 of them. And yeah, right off the bat, we launched the channel and, 100,000 views or whatever. And it was like hit the ground running right away. So that's when we got even closer. And then, yeah, so basically what we're doing here in a week is we're doing a re-release of that board.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. What do you got planned for that shoot?
That day we're just keeping it light for that day.
Okay.
He's just signing the boards, and then we're going to do like social media on the iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that one's going to, we've done a lot of media around him and that product. So don't want to, go too far on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, dude, that's such an awesome story.
Yeah.
So how long were you at the barracks for?
I was there for 15 years.
15
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And then you decided to move on to your own thing right after that. Wow. That's a tough decision as well.
Yeah.
So when you made that decision, were you kind of nervous to branch off on your own, or pretty confident after doing it for 15 years at the barracks?
I was confident in my skills. I was nervous to start a business. I did a lot of studying, YouTube tutorials, YouTube videos, like how do you start an LLC, all that sort of stuff. And then, anytime you venture into the unknown, it's a little scary. But I knew I had the support of the skaters, the brands, and I know I have the confidence, to try something. And if it doesn't work out, it won't work out, and I'll figure it out. If I try this and it doesn't work out, I'm not going to die. I'm going to figure it out.
I love that mentality.
And it was kind of like, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, like, every single challenge I've faced in my life, I've succeeded at, or I've gotten past. Even if I didn't win, I gotten past it, and I'm still here. So this is just another thing. And if this doesn't work out, that's okay. I'll do something else, but I'm going to try. Not trying was dying, basically. I had to try. So there was no part of me that wasn't going to do this and go all in. And, I think we've had our ups and downs. It's me and my brother do this. And our biggest strength is adjusting, is saying, okay, we tried this, it doesn't work, let's try this, and then, like, for example, if we have a limited product release, hey, this isn't selling, maybe we need to try to shoot different content around it or shoot better photos, and then boom, it works, so believing in yourself to know, like, I know this is good, it's just not translating somewhere along the lines.
Right.
Something isn't translating, so let's change up the messaging and then, fix it. So that's been probably our biggest strength along the way.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. And I love how instead of just giving up on something, you just identify the constraint, and then you just identify the problem, you articulate what it is, and then you solve it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people get stuck in their own overthinking, and they kind of get in this catastrophic, do or die situation. And like you said, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
And most decisions we make are actually reversible. There's not a ton of irreversible decisions that we make, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to fitness itself. Because so many times I deal with people who will come in, they have a major problem. They're like, I need to lose 50 pounds, or they're at 50% body fat, and they're struggling. Nothing's worked in the last 10 years. And then I'm like, hey, like, this is what we have to offer. This is how we can help you. And it's not even a money issue or even a logistical issue. It's just that they're just like, oh, I just got to think about it. I'm like, what's there to think about? You're at 50% body fat. Nothing else has worked. Like, I'm not lying to you. I'm here to help you. And then, I mean, you're a very decisive person, and which is great. And I think that we can all do a better job of being more decisive and making decisions, being okay with being like, well, this is probably reversible. Like, I'm not going to die from this, like you said.
Yeah. I heard some great quotes about, there's no evidence to tell me that if there's a challenge, I can't figure out how to get past it, because that's never happened in my life. So why would I tell myself that I can't do that? That's never happened. I'm lying to myself. So okay, well, let's just do what I keep doing. And then this quote here, win or win big. This is something I heard a couple of years ago, that to win is to fail and to learn the lesson from failing. To win big is to win. Everything goes great. But either way, you're winning. You're winning or you're winning big, but you're still winning, because if it doesn't work out, great, you got a lesson.
Yeah.
And, going back to, me and my brother trying things out, it's like, great. Now we know that doesn't work. We're never going to do that again.
Exactly. It's like, it just redirects you to the right path.
You get more out of the failures and the lessons from that than you do from doing it perfect, right off the bat. So yeah, I try to carry that mentality into everything I do.
Nice. Awesome. And just so for everyone listening, what's the name of your YouTube channel and your company?
Storied Skateboarding.
Storied Skateboarding. Yeah. Awesome. We'll definitely put that in the link so you guys can check out Chase's YouTube channel and everything. Go ahead and support. We love to support all of our members at the gym who have businesses and also who are doing really cool things. So definitely check that out. He's got a big following as well on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle? So we can
Chasing Gabor.
Chasing Gabor. Got it. All right. So Chase is on there. So nailed it. All right, buddy. Let's move on to, I do have another question, kind of bringing it back to fitness now. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Yep.
But what fears or hesitations did you have about trying CrossFit in the first place?
I had looked at CrossFit from across the street for quite some time. Yeah, you lost that one.
Yeah, it's all right.
I had always been curious, and I had done HIIT training for, let's say, 5 or so years, but it always kind of scared me.
Okay.
CrossFit always kind of scared me. I knew it was taken to another level, but I had been recommended it by people sometime. To like, yo, you should try this. You should try this. And then it's something deep down inside me. Just lifting. I don't. Do you call them like Olympic style?
Yeah, lifting, Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah, all that stuff seemed pretty terrifying to me. And then like squats.
It is terrifying.
I'll tell you what. As much as I've worked out, like HIIT training and whatever, I'm always skipping leg day. I did not do leg day. Those classes always give the option to do legs or arms or upper body, lower body. I would always do upper body. So I was like, if I do that, I'm going to have to do squats. And I don't want to do squats.
Dude, join the club.
But I knew I had to do them, so that scared me. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think deep seated, there was something that was like, well, I don't want to like not be good at this. What if I'm not good at it? Which is like, goes so against everything I just said, so hey, that's kind of what it came down to, is like, practice what you preach, man. You gotta try it. So, and I did, and it's been amazing. Yeah. I mean, do you want me to get into the story of how I started?
You can. Yeah. Okay. I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
Well, one day I was walking the dog, and I saw this gentleman who looked like he worked out, and I asked him. I was wearing a Red Wolf hoodie.
I'm pretty sure that was me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said, hey man, how is that place? And he said, it's okay. I was like, I've been curious. I'm going down the street, but I'm always going by here, and I'm just super curious about it. And then that's when you told me to come in and give it a shot. And then the rest is history, so.
It's so funny that I said it's just okay. I don't like to, I personally don't like to talk myself up because I think that's, I don't know. I try at least attempt to be humble.
Yeah. Well, if you said, oh, it's awesome, I own the place, I'd be like, well, of course you'd say that. You own Chris, see what say that. But yeah, I came in, that's when I finally was like, all right, I'm gonna give this a shot. And then, yeah, I think the first day was like handstand push-ups, and I was like,
what is this? At least it was upper body.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's when I kind of looked around. I was like, oh, this is different. This is another level, And by like day 3, day 4, one of the workouts, we were running down the street. It was like 6 in the morning, and I was like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. This is it. Felt good to just be running, with the breeze in my face, doing hard shit, that kind of like every new thing, kind of scares me a little bit, like I was telling you as we walked over here, the ring toes to bar.
Oh yeah, that was pretty. Yeah,
When that was first demonstrated in class, I was like, I'm gonna pull myself up there and go upside down. Like, I was kind of nervous, But what I did is I just put my head down and I was the first one at the rings, and I just did it once, and I was like, oh shit, this is like really fun, And so that for me has been the coolest thing is like, once a week there's something I've never done. It's like, okay, let's learn this, and then by the end of that week or whatever, you're like, okay, I kind of get it, and like you feel confident doing it. Yeah, so that's kind of, it's every day it seems is like a new challenge, and conquering those challenges just feels cool, and learning the techniques. It's not just the strength, it's learning the techniques, Another example, deadlifting the other day. I was at a certain weight that I was like, I swear I could do heavier than this, but it was like rolling off of my fingers and I couldn't get it up. And I just switched my grip and it felt like it took 30 pounds off the weight.
right.
And I was like, that's so cool. Like to like learn new techniques to help you along the way. I just thought, for me, that's what keeps it interesting, like it's just ever evolving.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really fun because it always keeps you striving for more, and it's always nice to have that dangling carrot in front of you, as I say, that there's always a new skill, there's always something that could be refined, there's always something to be a little bit better, and for some people that frustrates them, but for me, I need that, because otherwise I'm gonna get bored. Like if I master something, like it's kind of like beating a video game. It's like, why am I gonna play that game again? Like I beat it, so that's what makes it fun, is that it's there's no end date to it. Like I'm always going to continually strive to get a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, when you go in the class and you see what's on the board and you're like, they're telling me this is possible. You're telling me this is possible. All right, I'm going to do it. And then to see something that seems so gnarly, so hard, and then you do it and you get it done. And then, you're walking home from class or driving home from class and you get to tell yourself, it's 7 in the morning and I've already done the hardest thing I'm going to do today. That feels great. That's a great way to start your day, and then that helps you with everything. You're like, ain't no way whatever is coming up work-wise is going to be harder than fucking, sorry.
It's okay. You could say
there's no way it's going to be harder than doing 15 pull-up burpees, like I got this. So, it's so good physically, but it's also very good mentally, for your confidence. So I love it.
Dude, that is fantastic. Yeah, and you really push hard. Like, I mean, I coached you today with your squats, and I was really impressed because I haven't seen you train in a while. Well, I mean, at least train legs in a while. So when I saw your squat, I'm like, man, Chase's squat has not only gotten stronger, but your depth was better. Like your overall mechanics were really good. And then you did the RX weight today, which is great. You clean and jerked it, put it behind the neck, and you were doing 135 back squats really easily too. And I remember when you first started that you did struggle with the leg just because they weren't as ready as they are now. And it's crazy how much you've progressed in such a short amount of time. So that is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the results are there. The numbers don't lie, and that's the other cool thing about doing this is, jotting down the weights and then seeing the progression. When we did the max week, everything across the board was PR, crushed my initial numbers, which is just so cool to see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the weighted pull-up was like 10 pounds and I was,
oh yeah, you smashed that. Yeah, you posted it and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I did the 10 pounds the first time and I was like, I cheated the shit out of that. But then the max out week I did 45 and I was like, that's crazy. Like that is crazy that this body can do that.
I know. Yeah, in such a short amount of time too. It's just it's funny that when you are consistent with things and then you just trust the process and you just follow along and you're coachable, that good things happen very quickly.
Yeah.
So awesome. What surprised you the most about training here at Red Wolf?
Surprised me the most. Gosh. Okay, I'll say this. The workout I was doing, I didn't think, which was HIIT training, I didn't think that there would be anything better that could take me away from that. And then, like I said, within day 3 or day 4, I was like, oh, this is it, So that definitely surprised me. And I was, anytime you go to a new gym, you're like a little intimidated, you're a little closed off, but everybody is just so welcoming. The community is like pretty cool, and everybody hangs out, it seems, and supports, very supportive. When somebody's working on something and they're struggling, you hear the class turn around and, start clapping, cheering them on. That's awesome. We're all in there to do something very hard that we're not sure if we can do. And you have everybody else's support to help get you through. So that's super cool. Places I had been in the past, you'd probably been like, oh, it's okay. Next time you got it. It's fine. Put the weight down, like that ain't me though,
That is not you.
Yeah. So, I think just caught off guard that there really was something so much better out there for me. I'm not going to say I regret not trying it 10 years ago. I try to not carry that.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, if there is anybody who's on the fence, I say just walk your legs into class. Just do it. Just start, and then you won't stop.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of how far you've come.
Thank you.
And how would you describe the community and coaching at Red Wolf for someone who's never actually experienced it?
Great. I mean, I'll start with the coaching. The coaching is amazing. I mean, that was, sorry to keep referring back to other places, but, never getting proper coaching on how to do things the correct way always kind of weighed on me. I'm like, I wish somebody would, I know this isn't right, So to have somebody tell you, hey, fix this, and then boom, it feels better. You lift heavier. It's awesome, and then the support, support to talk you through it as you go is always great. The coaches are well-trained, they're smart, they know what you're capable of. So just hearing them, be there for you helps a lot. That's an additional strength to pull from, And then, the community, just today I was talking to Dylan, who had, seen almost every day, and it's like, hey, who are you? We talked all class, like, this dude's awesome.
Yeah, Dylan's a great guy. I need to get him on the podcast too.
Yeah. We were talking all class. It's funny because when I work out, I usually try to just I feel like if I break, if I smile, I'm not gonna be as strong, But
That's buddy.
But yeah, we were just talking all class, joking around and stuff, and it was cool, man. Yeah, and then you start seeing everybody every day, and it's like, I think those fist bumps at the end of the class, they're actually meaningful. It means yo, good job. I'm well aware of what you just went through. What I just went through. We did this.
Yeah, it's such a great way to close it out too.
Yeah.
It's we went through this together.
Yeah.
Even though we may not know everybody in here, but well done.
Yeah.
You did it. We did it together.
Yeah. And when you're running down the street, crossing people, and it's like, you got this, keep going, all that stuff helps. It helps, because it is hard. Everything you're doing is hard,
It's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane how hard it becomes to jog down the street after, when you're on your 3rd round or whatever, and you're like, holy shit.
This is not fun. All right, awesome. And how has the gym impacted you outside? I'm sorry. How has Red Wolf impacted you? For, let's say, your family, work, and relationships. How's that done?
I talk about it a lot. Probably to an annoying amount, my girlfriend would say.
Nice.
But I think just, like I said, confidence throughout the day. Being able to find a workout that I can get done before my girlfriend and the baby wake up is awesome. I think that just having that mentality of I've done so much while people are sleeping, is just awesome. That's my favorite feeling. And yeah, it just helps me throughout the day. Like I said, facing challenges, knowing I've already done the hardest thing I'm gonna do today, I think that kind of, it becomes sort of your identity. And I love that. I want to have a confident identity. I want to go into things knowing I'm going to figure this out no matter what. It's going to be fine. So doing that every morning, even when I don't want to wake up at 4:30, my legs don't want to move, my arms, my shoulders, my everything doesn't want to move, get into class and do this. And, 5 minutes in, you feel fine. You're like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Let's go. It's the first challenge of the day. It's the second challenge today. Waking up at 4:30 first. I choose to go to the early class. But you know, I'm very challenge driven and like goal driven. I like to have my goals and accomplish them. So every day I set a list of things I want to do, and the way I have fun is just crossing off those goals. Like that's just how I have fun, you know. And I work hard, and when I can cross those things off, that makes me feel like today is a good day, you know. So for CrossFit to be the first thing that I get done is just such a huge accomplishment going into the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And, you know, there's a reason why people who work out early do have like, I think they have an advantage throughout the day, because like you said earlier, is like we got the hardest thing out of the way right away.
Yeah.
The rest of the day is going to be downhill from there. And it's like, and then I will be asleep in my bed that night as well. Yeah. So it's like, it's just going to get easier.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Just feeling better, you know, like physically, of course, I feel a lot better, but just mentally, like you said, like just knowing like I did something a lot of people won't even try. And a lot of people, if they try, they give up on. I'm doing it every single day.
Yeah.
You just feel good.
No, that's awesome. Fantastic, Chase. So last question. So if you had to sum up your Red Wolf experience in one word or sentence, what would that be?
I don't want to go stationary, like awesome. One sentence. A great decision.
I like that.
A great decision.
I like that.
Yeah. Can confidently say it's definitely been a stepping stone in my life. It's definitely taken me to another level, physically and mentally. So it's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, that is fantastic, Chase. Well, thank you so much for that. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
Nope. That's it. Stoked to go try to learn rope climbs.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of skills to work on. Well, this is fantastic though. We like we said, we got that carrot going for you. Well, Chase, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Loved hearing your story. It's going to inspire a lot of people as well to start their fitness journey. So
Sweet.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear more stories like Chase's, do us a favor and leave us a 5-star review so we know to make more content just like this. And don't forget to DM us on social media at Red Wolf CrossFit for any content suggestions as well. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, good luck, have fun. Nailed it.